Philadelphia's progressive DA, Larry Krasner, trying to fend off an effort from Republican lawmakers in his state to impeach him over the city's exploding crime rate. For example, since Krasner took office in 2017, murders have jumped 78%. And the latest lunacy from his office saw a convicted killer who he exonerated and let out of prison last year, now wanted in connection with another murder. But Krasner says attacking his policies is just part of the Republican playbook.
Straight up, this is an effort to impeach someone for political purposes who has done nothing corrupt and nothing illegal because they want to erase Philadelphia's votes. Part of the Republican playbook, as you well know, is to point a finger at large, diverse cities and say large, diverse cities are lawless. What we see here is the same old playbook, which is about coded and racist messaging. It's about blaming the biggest city in Pennsylvania with the most diverse population for having the same national struggle that we have with gun violence everywhere.
That comes after President Biden offers up his most confusing comment yet on rising crime.
Ahead of these midterms, how big of an issue is crime?
I think it's a real issue, and I think we have a great record on it.
So, Jesse, it seems like Krasner's more upset with, quote, the Republican playbook than he is about a convicted murderer who he exonerated coming back and murdering someone else.
He thinks he's a movie star. So the state legislature asked him to come in and testify behind closed doors about his crime policies, and he turned him down. And then he flew from Philly to Harrisburg and went to the Capitol steps and held a press conference and called the Republicans racist and said they were pursuing a Southern strategy. So Republicans are upset because a white Democrat DA is letting black people kill each other, and that's racist. That's Larry Krasner's theory right there. Larry Krasner let out a guy who ran over a woman and her baby daughter, killing them, let him out on bail, and then he went up and shot up a high school football practice. Larry Krasner had a guy that was in prison for murder, and he had an integrity unit, let him out, and now he's being charged with another murder, and he's wanted and he's on the lam. Larry Krasner is the worst DA in this country, and he deserves everything that's coming to him.
So, Judge, you know, this isn't just about Republicans. It's about real people who are being victims of crimes, and women are being raped on public transportation. Lawrence Jones actually sat down with a number of voters to talk to them about crime and safety. We'll listen to that and get your take.
How many women out here feel like it's safe for them to just even to pump your gas here? No hands. Who feels it's unsafe? Yeah, and it's not just the women there. The fund the police message hurt the city of Philadelphia and crime all over the country. Raise your hand if you believe the defund the police message hurt us.
Yeah, and Lawrence also said all of those people plan on voting for Republicans, Judge.
Okay. First of all, Larry Krasner is inept. He is a liar. He should not be DA. He should be the public defender. Larry Krasner, to stand up there and say that this is about erasing votes, it has nothing to do with that. One of the crimes that Jesse talked about, one of the murders that Larry Krasner's, I think it's conviction integrity unit decided to release someone who had been convicted after a jury trial. And then he goes out and kills again. The first murder, Jesse, was when this guy goes out and he kills a man, a father, in front of his 5-year-old son, point blank in front of his son, 2 days before Christmas. And Krasner's conviction integrity unit decides that this is a man who deserves mercy. And this is a unit that is supported by Fetterman. Right. Look, the Democrats own this crime crisis in the United States. They own it. People like Krasner should be gone. George Gascon, Alvin Bragg, Darcel Clark. All of these progressive DAs do not belong in those jobs. And every woman I know now is afraid to wear jewelry. She's afraid to drive a good car. She's afraid she's going to be followed home. And there are legitimately good reasons to be afraid. And it's because Democrats have decided that cashless bail is the way to go for social justice, which no one has defined. I still don't know what social justice is.
Harold, Obviously, people are being killed, which is the worst of it. But this also has a negative economic impact. I mean, stores are closing in places like Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. because it's too dangerous. And of course, the communities who live there have less economic opportunity to better their communities.
Right. So I am as concerned as any about just the human toll and the kind of the threats that people may feel about their safety. I don't view this as a Democrat or Republican problem. I view it as a national challenge. We have some poor thinking and ineffective individuals who happen to be Democrats in some of these jobs. This DA, he's right in one regard. You can't, I don't know if you can impeach him if he didn't do anything corrupt, but they should certainly do everything they possibly can to get him out of office. Jesse, I thought you said it very well. I mean, sometimes I think you try to be a little political and coy, but you were absolutely right when you said he just went to Harrisburg. I didn't think about it this way. And said that they were racist because they wanted him to prosecute criminals who are imparting harm and fear on the parts of a majority of the diverse population that he talked about. He shouldn't be DA, not because he's not probably a decent guy who wants to do well, but his policies are not working. These DAs who are still employing and pursuing this platform of wanting to release people from jail who commit violent, murderous acts. I don't know what we're accomplishing. That seems to me there's no social or justice in any of that. The communities that they're bringing this harm to, ask those communities if they feel as if this is an act of social justice. It's not. Where you are right, Judge, about us owning this, if we don't have a national message that denounces cashless bail for violent offenders, if we don't make clear every time the president speaks over the next 2 weeks, he must say, we fully funded the police, we passed the policing bill in the House, and not one Republican voted for it. That's what he means when he said he thought they were doing better on it. But whatever the case, we can't be for cashless bail, Democrats, if we want safer communities, and especially if you want safe communities where people like me and people who look like me live.
Jimmy.
Listen, man, I think a kid solves this. When you were a little kid, we used to play a game in the backyard called Cops and Robbers. Remember Cops and Robbers?
Yes.
And as
Jesse
kids,
and I still play that.
There you go.
Yes, so.
Yeah.
He's a good robber. He's a good robber, Scooter.
See, I could never. I'm jealous of the robber. I'm jealous of the robber because as a fat kid, I could never get away. Like I just never even bothered. I'd always get a dragnet and just close the gap. But as kids, you always knew the cops are the good guys, the robbers are the bad guys. We have created a system in this country that has more empathy for the criminal than the cop, and this is the residual effect of all of this. What I'm so blown away by is this narrative being pushed on the left that Republicans are evil for highlighting all this crime. We're the ones trying to bring attention to it so we can stop it. They're the 911 operators that are letting the call go to voicemail while they play Candy Crush on their phone. There's no world where the people sticking up for the cops are the bad guys. And if we just accept that, I think we have a foundation for a step forward.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's definitely an issue.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.